Find your favorite version of child's pose, whether it's knees together, knees separated. Arms could be relaxed, arms could be pressed long and firmly down into the mat. Find your breath here. Allow every inhale to expand the back of your body, and every exhale to create a little more surrender toward the earth. On an inhale, rise up into tabletop. Drawing your knees in, spreading fingertips wide, feeling navel draw in toward the spine. Gaze is down between your palms, back of the neck is long. Curl your right toes under. And send your right leg long behind you on the mat. Feel that navel drop in toward your spine again, feeling the contraction of the core. And then float your right leg up, maybe hip height, but only so far as it does not create an arching in your low back. Shift your weight towards your right palm and then elevate your left arm, palm facing midline. This is called bird dog, by the way. I don't know if I ever told you that. Then crunch left elbow to right knee underneath you on an exhale. Inhale, expand, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, expand. One more time, crunch. And extend. Release your left palm down, send your right leg around to the right, toes forward. Sink your hips back to your heel, coming down to forearms, finding that inner thigh stretch. Half child's pose. Allow your breath to create space in any places that feel tension. On an inhale, rise back up to your palms. Elevate that right leg while it's out to either side. Send it back behind you and then over to the left. Let your toes come down. And then find a little lean here. Maybe you lean into your right hip, something that adds a little stretch, maybe in the right side body. And hips back to neutral, lift that leg up, send it behind you. Release the right toes on the floor behind you. Bring left palm in line with left knee if it's not already. Then release your right heel down, rainbow open to the side. Press down with the outer edge of your right foot and feel that energy ride the whole line of your right side of your body, out your right pinky. Keep breathing. And unwind back to tabletop, right hand down, right knee down. Shift around a little. Get your hands and knees back where we started. Curl your left toes under and send that left leg long on the mat. Feel that navel to spine, pull up on the pelvic muscles. Then float that left leg up. Again, maybe to hip height, but only so far as it doesn't create an arch in your low back. Feel all the muscles of your torso wrap around your spine again, and then float your right arm up. Bird dog. And create that crunch on an exhale, right elbow to left knee. Inhale, extend. 2 more times, crunch. Follow your breath. And release that right hand down. Find that stability back in your core, your pelvis. And then send the left leg around to the left, releasing the foot down, toes pointing forward. Half child's pose on this side, so sinking hips back to heel, coming down to forearms, wherever it feels good on that left inner thigh. And rise back up to palms. While that foot is out to the side, lift it up, bring it behind you, and then over to the right. Let that foot land and lean into any stretch you feel here, if it's in that right hip or anywhere else. And elevate that foot, bring it back behind you, release toes to the mat. Bring right hand in line with right knee. Send that left heel down to the mat and then rainbow open to the left. And pressing down with the outer edge of that left foot. And feeling it all the way to the pinky finger of your left hand. And unwind back to tabletop, hands down, knees down. Do a little wiggle, reset, and sink it back to child's pose. You want to do a little for your wrists, you can interlace fingers and do a figure 8. If you do that, go both directions. And then release hands long, elbows straight. This time energize the child's pose, pressing down into the mat, pressing your back away from your fingertips. Glance forward towards your hands, walk them over to the right, maybe just off the mat, and sink down again. And other way, hands come through center, and over to the left. And hands come through center, shift your hips, so keep your hands long, shift your hips up, and then maybe forward. So you might come all the way down into a cobra, or you might keep the hips elevated a little, just depending on your low back. And then shift back to child's pose, and then forward again. Opening up the low back. And next time your hips come forward, sink yourself down onto your belly. Nice. Keep your left hand planted under your shoulder and send your right arm out, palm down. Then bend your left knee. Then press down with your left hand to rotate your body open Sending that left toe to the floor behind you. So it creates a front of the shoulder stretch on the right side. This also helps compress the acupressure point for the lung meridian. So I had a client last week or 2 weeks ago who was getting over a cough, and this really activated her cough, so could help clear some stuff out. And unwind back to your belly. Release that foot down. Bring right hand under right shoulder, send the left arm out to the left. Bend the right knee. Press down into the earth to push your upper body open, sending right toe behind you to the floor possibly. Head is relaxed. And unwind back to your belly. We can do some baby cobras. Keep working that low back. So both hands under shoulders, elbows in toward the body. Legs are together, feet pressed down, pubic bone pressed down. And using the strength of your back, lift your heart. You can elevate palms off the floor as well. And lower 3 more times. Exhaling up for that crunch in the back. And inhaling down. 2. And 3. This time stay up, straighten your arms, send them out behind you about 45 degrees for half locust. Gaze is down, keeping length in the back of the neck. And belly down Shavasana, relax. You can stack palms or fists to rest the head on, or just rest your forehead down to the mat. And preparing for a movement, lift the head. Bring your right arm parallel to the top of your mat. And bend your left knee. Toe comes up. Then reach behind you for the outside of that left foot or leg as much as possible. And if you can't quite reach it, just imagine that you will be reaching it. If you have a hold of that foot, press the top of that foot back and allow that to lift that side of the chest. So you're pressing the top of your foot toward the pool behind you. And relax down, belly down Shavasana. And preparing for movement, now bring that left forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Bend the right knee. And reach back for that foot. If you can't quite grab it, just imagine, and if you can, then press back with the top of that foot. So again, the top of that foot toward the pool behind you, and let that lift the right side of your heart. And release down, belly down Shavasana. Bring hands under shoulders. Curl your toes under. And you may shift back to child's pose to get there, but see if you can just shift up into down dog. Floating your hips up behind you, nice. First down dog of class, you can walk the dog, sway the dog, bounce the dog. Move it around however feels good. And really sink your heart back toward your thighs. So you're in an upside down V. So shoulders are back from the wrists. Nice. Look forward towards your hands. Walk your feet forward about half center of the mat, and then widen them as wide as the mat. Now sink your hips down, heels can come up off the floor, finding a squat. This is one of the best poses you can do for anatomy, for energy, for being able to poop, all those things. So you can keep hands grounded, or you can bring hands up to heart center. You can press thighs out with elbows, even if your hands are grounded. If you fall down, the floor is right there. And release hands to the mat. Float those hips up, heel till your feet end toward each other. Knees can be bent here. Find your forward fold. First forward fold of class. Half lift is always an option if you want to keep head above heart. Or you can be in a surrendered forward fold. Relaxing your whole spine down. So feeling every vertebra as it lengthens away from your pelvis. And on an inhale, curl your tailbone under, roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears, release them down your back. All right, on an inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up. Reach up, reach tall, keep breathing. Imagine you can touch the sun. On an exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins or thighs, 90 degrees with your body. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way back up, extended mountain. And exhale, hands to heart center. These are half sun salutes, one more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extended Tadasana all the way up. And hands to heart center. So we're going to do that one more time, and I want you to really pay attention to breath with movement. And in particular, that last rise up to extended Tadasana. Just imagine you're gathering all the energy that you're creating in your body, all the heat, all the breath, and pulling it back down into yourself. So let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms up. And follow your breath. Exhale, fold. Half lift. And fold. Rise up. Bring it all into your heart. Reclaiming some part of yourself that you want to carry forward. And close the eyes here, or have a soft gaze. Maybe feel the heat in your hands increase. And release arms by your sides, palms forward. Keeping eyes closed. And exhale, your eyes open. Bring hands to your hips. Take a large step back with your right foot for crescent. So knee is over ankle. You're on the ball of that back foot, heel lifted. And notice how this feels, and then notice how it feels when you lift that back heel. Kind of energizes the back of that leg. Then feel navel come into spine, and that creates space in the low back. So if ever you're having low back stuff, helping the core is going to help support the low back. Lift your arms up, palms facing midline, maybe a little back bend. Lengthen the back of the neck, but gazes up. Still drawing shoulder blades down while the arms are lifted. On an exhale, release your hands down to runner's lunge. Then release your back knee down on top of your back foot. Bring hands to thigh, maybe shift the hips forward for crescent lunge, legs. And then float the hands back up. Release the hands back down, shift the hips back to neutral, and then half split. So you're gonna shift the hips back. They can go back to the heel or they could just shift straight back, straightening into the front knee, lifting the front toes. So you can be here or you can be here. And you can leave hands down if that helps support. We're going to roll through those two shapes. So shift forward, crescent lunge, don't worry about the arms. And back into half split. And forward. Really feel the stretch in that thigh and back. And next time you come forward, shift your hips forward. You can release hands down for this. Bend that back knee to lift the toe. Then option to reach behind you with your other hand, opposite hand or same hand for a quad stretch. And release that foot down, shift the hips back one more time for half split. And if you want a little bit more, you can send that front foot forward and come into as much of a full split as you can. Wow, I'm a lot closer than I thought I would be. Like, when have I been doing this? I haven't been doing this. And slide it on back. And come to kneeling on the knees. Send right leg out to the right, toes forward. Right hand to right thigh, and then rainbow, left arm over. We did half circle earlier, this is gate pose. And come on up, right knee back to the mat. Hands down, float it up to down dog. You've been doing this long enough, down dog can be a resting pose, so find your breath here. You can move it around again if you like, or you can just settle in. I'm gonna walk those feet to center of the mat again, and then widen. Sink the hips down for a squat. An option to press the thighs away from each other. If you really want to play with balance, you can walk your heels in toward each other. And then sit up over the heels. And then if you want to do what I do in sensual yoga, then you can do some dance moves here with the hips. And release palms down, float the hips up, heel toe the feet together if they're not already. Find your forward fold. And then on an inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up to standing, extend into Tadasana. Exhale, hands together down to heart center. And return to the top of your mat if you have migrated. Close your eyes, have a soft gaze. Either. Just notice what's going on in your body. Exhale, the eyes open. and bring hands to hips. Large step back with the left foot for crescent. So again, knee over ankle and that front leg. Really pressing back with that back heel, and you can feel the difference lifting that heel up, how it energizes that back leg, back hamstring. And then feel that navel to spine activation that will rotate the pelvis forward. And if you need a little more balance, you can widen your stance by heel toeing your front foot out to the right. And then arms come up. And maybe a little back bend. There are some yogis who do like a full, as far back as they can. If you can do that, go for it. And release hands down to the mat for runner's lunge. Then release that back knee and top of that back foot down. Bring hands to that front thigh. Shift the hips forward. Crescent lunge. Breathe here. Feel that lengthening in that front quad and that left quad. And shift it back for half split. Again, the hips can just go straight back, straightening that front knee, lifting those front toes, or you can sink hips down to heel. And we're gonna roll between those two, shifting it forward and back. Follow your breath, your speed. You can always have a blanket under the planted knee if that helps. And next time your hips are forward, you can bend that back knee more, lifting your foot. And then option, you can reach behind you and grab hold of that foot. Or a more intense quad stretch. And release that foot down, sink the hips back. And again, if you want to try that full split, you can wiggle that front foot forward. Use your hands to support you wherever you land. And slide it back. Whoop. Coming to the knees. Sending the left foot out to the left. Left hand to left thigh. Rainbowing that right arm over for gate. And rise up. Bring that knee in. Sink it back to child's pose. And on an inhale, up to tabletop. Tabletop is our best friend today. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist. And right toes in front of your left knee. Nice, then you can slide that left leg back behind you for pigeon. And if you have space between you and the floor, you can put a block under that right hip. And before you settle the top of your body down, you're gonna do that option we did in crescent. So option 2, bend that back knee, lifting your toes, and reach behind you for king pigeon. Well, king pigeon, you're actually reaching over your head, but I don't think we're doing that today. Now release that foot, settle your upper body down. Again, you can slide a block under that right hip if it's not quite coming to the floor. And rise up to your hands. Press the earth away to make room for that leg, sending it back to tabletop. You can do a little shake, shimmy, stretch, sway to reset that low back, pelvis. And for the other side, left knee behind left wrist. Left toes in front of right knee. Sink that right leg back. Option here, you can bend that right knee, lifting the toes, reach around behind. And if you have that foot, let it down. And surrender your upper body down to the earth. And come on back to the hands. Press the earth away. Lift your body, send that knee back, and sink it back to child's pose for one last time of class. All right, our last few bits we're gonna do against the wall. So grab your mat and bring the short edge to a space of wall. So the way to get booty closest to the wall is to sit next to the wall first, as close as you can, a little off to the side, and then roll your body down and your legs up. So legs up the wall is the infamous, supposedly 10 minutes of this is equal to 30-minute nap. Some people disagree. But it does feel nice. Letting your back settle into the floor. Legs, heels settle into the wall. Now bring soles of your feet together, knees out. So we're in supine bound angle. And sliding your feet down as close as they would like to go to your body. If you want a little bit more, you can take your hands and press your knees toward the wall. If you want a little bit less, you can bring your hands under your legs to support them. And send your legs back up. And then separate your feet, so legs come into a V. And again, if the gravity is a little much, you can bring your hands under your legs to support. Otherwise, just let gravity do its thing. slide legs back up. Now for my personal favorite, figure 4 against the wall. So bringing the right ankle to the top of the left thigh. And then plant your left foot on the wall. And you may adjust your hip distance from the wall for this as well, and then possibly slide the left foot down. The further down that foot goes, the more the stretch in that right hip. Now while we're here, allow both knees to fall over to the left for a twist, keeping that right shoulder blade planted. And maybe your head turns to the right. Legs come back up, send them long. And then left ankle on top of right thigh. Plant that right foot on the wall and maybe slide it down the wall, just depending on this hip. And then send both knees over to the right for a little twist. Keeping that left shoulder blade down. Maybe looking left. And come back to center. This time, plant both feet on the wall, so legs are uncrossed, both feet planted. And then press the wall with your feet to lift your hips up. So hips come over shoulders. And you can do this a couple of times, lowering the hips down. This is a wall bridge. And then option if you want to bring your hands under your hips to support. You can send your feet up toward the ceiling for shoulder stand. And if you're in shoulder stand and your back is feeling ready for it, you can send your feet behind you and maybe your toes land on the earth behind your head. For plow. And you can release feet back to the wall. Gonna move towards Shavasana. You can either have legs up the wall, any other leg variation we've done, or you can lie flat on your mat. If there are any other shapes, wiggles, or stretches you'd like before we get there, go ahead and take those now. And as you are ready, coming into stillness for our final integration pose of the season. Shifting from doing into being. Shavasana. Slowly as you like, in whatever fashion you like, you can make your way onto your side and back up to seated. Drawing hands to heart center. It has been the deepest honor to meet you and lead you throughout this season. Namaste.
Namaste.